Right, welcome to Wednesday, April 29th. Today you're gonna need one heavy object and a timer.
And a chair, bench, or ottoman.
But for right now, let's get to that warm-up. Today we're gonna start with a warm-up, 3 rounds of shin boxes and forward folds. We're gonna do 3 of those. Then we're gonna do 6 overhead good mornings. I'll show you those. And then we're gonna do 9 tempo air squats with a 3-second descent. And I'll show you those. So first for the shin box forward folds. All right, feet are slightly apart. Start by folding the inside of your right knee to the ground. Boom, that's a shin box. Now, you're gonna fold yourself over that left foot. Nice and easy, you're just warming up. Then come back, bring that foot back, bring the left inside knee to the ground, make the shin box, fold over your right foot. Only go as far as your body's letting you. Make sure you're comfortable, able to breathe. Come back up. You're gonna repeat those for 3 per side. Then you're gonna roll into 6 overhead good mornings. We've done these before, but put your arms up, reach to the ceiling. Head is in neutral in line with the arms. Push your hips back, butt back until you can't. And then come back up. What we want to be careful of is that we're not losing this midline stability. We're not curling over here. So as soon as that butt is back as far as it'll go, with the legs slightly straight, slight bend in the knee, come right back up. Overhead good mornings. 6 of those, and then we're going to do 9 tempo air squats. And with those, I'd like a 3-second descent. Go ahead and count out loud till you get the feel for a 3-second descent. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, and up. After that last set of tempo air squats, you're gonna do 60 butt kickers. Butt kickers are nice and fast in the tempo, trying to touch those heels to your butt, like this. Nice and fast, 60 of those, so 30 each side. All right, press pause and enjoy that warm up. I'll see you back here for strength. All right, welcome back. Hopefully you're good and warmed up. We've got a couple of supersets today for strength. 30 seconds of rest in between, 4 different movements. First 2 movements you'll do 4 sets of, then you work into the other 2 movements for that second superset. The first superset, we've got dumbbell sumo good mornings, 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps, and then tall kneeling Arnold presses, 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps each side on those. You'll do 4 sets of each of those movements. On that last set of kneeling Arnold presses, you will transition during that 30 seconds rest into the second superset, starting with Goblet Bulgarian split squats, of which you'll do 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps, rest 30 seconds, and go into dumbbell forearm planks with rotation, and you'll do 4 sets of 10 on each side of those. Rest 30 seconds, back up to the goblet squats until you've done 4 sets of each of those. All right, so for those movements, first up in that first movement of the first superset, you've got dumbbell sumo good mornings. Whether it's a dumbbell or kettlebell, whatever your heavy object is, I've got a kettlebell. Get it safely racked and to the back, okay? Hanging out right there. Now these are sumo good mornings, so that just means wide stance. So go out into your wide sumo stance. Control that weight, keep the midline stable, push the hips back, feel the stretch in the hamstrings, and then come up. You do not have to be parallel to the ground for these. In fact, you just want to make sure you keep the midline stable, that it doesn't collapse. Keeping it stable, feeling the stretch, coming back up. Push the butt back, midline stable, back up. All right, those are dumbbell sumo good mornings. Again, be careful transitioning that weight to your back. Tall kneeling Arnolds are very similar to the half kneeling Arnolds we've done before. With those, you're on both knees, tall kneeling. So your body is straight and in line, perpendicular to the ground. You're keeping that midline stable. And then starting with the palm facing you, pretty much racked in front. And then you're gonna push up and out, rotating out at the top, back in, palm facing, up, palm out. Palm facing, palm out. All right, that's 8 to 10 reps each side on the tall kneeling arms. So you'll switch arms and do 10 more reps. Then go back up to those dumbbell sumo good mornings. Now, after that last set of tall kneeling Arnolds, you're gonna transition into the Goblet Bulgarian split squat for that second superset, the start of that second superset. You're actually gonna need a chair or a bench or an Ottoman end table, something to rest your foot on for these. All right, so for these, you're gonna get that weight up into the goblet position. You're gonna put the top of your foot onto your chair, bench, whatever you're using. And then you're gonna squat in that goblet position. So your midline is stable. Try to form a 90 with that front leg so that you're out enough from whatever your object is that you're resting that other foot on, down and up. These are tough, really work the glute and quad. It's good. It's a great exercise. Make sure you're keeping that midline stable on those, chest up, holding that goblet in the proper position. After you do 8 to 12 reps of those Bulgarian split squats each leg, you're gonna rest 30 seconds and go into dumbbell forearm planks with rotation. Get into your forearm plank position. And you're gonna come under with that weight and up. Under and up. Under and up. Nice planked position, cores engaged, and rotating up with that dumbbell and back under. You're gonna do 10 each side of those, 10 reps each side. Then you go back to the Goblet Bulgarian split squats and back through until you've done 4 sets of each of those movements, and then you'll be done with strength. Press pause, go to it. I'll meet you back here for conditioning. Okay, good job on that strength. Welcome back to conditioning. Today we've got an AMRAP, a 10-minute AMRAP, as many repetitions as possible of 2 different movements, 10 Russian twists, I'll show you those, and then 20 Russian kettlebell swings. It's called, they've dubbed this one Comrade Quarantine because of the 2 Russian movements. All right, so for the Russian twist, a lot of times these are done with a plate, but you can use any object. You can use kettlebell, dumbbell as well. You're gonna lift your feet off the ground in a bent knee position. Touch the weight on either side. Each side counts as a rep. So 5 each side for those Russian twists. If you've got a dumbbell, just hold the top of the top dumb end of the dumbbell. Same thing. Legs up. 5 each side. After those, You've got the Russian kettlebell swing. So if you remember, the Russian is to eye level. Feet are about their shoulder width or slightly wider for that kettlebell swing. Not quite squat stance. And you're gonna hike. Start with that object, whether it's a kettlebell or a dumbbell on its end in the middle. Hike it back, hips out to eye level with that kettlebell. Use those hips. If you use the hips right, there'll be very little shoulder involved. Make your life a lot easier. Russian kettlebell swing. All right, 10 Russian twists, 20 kettlebell swings, over and over and over until 10 minutes have passed. Press pause, have a blast with that. I'll see you back here for a cool down. All right, welcome back for a very necessary cool down. You always have the option to do the shutdown challenge before you do this cool down. It's in the description below. Today's cool down involves the lizard pose. You're gonna do 30 seconds each side on that one. You can do that dynamic or static. And then the world's greatest stretch. With the world's greatest stretch, we're gonna rest 30 seconds in each pose. I'm gonna show you that now. So start with the world's greatest stretch, get in that plank position. Then bring your right foot on the outside of that right hand. You're gonna leave that left hand planted. You're gonna lift that right hand up and try to bring that right elbow to the ground. That is a very strong word, try. Not everybody should be able to, so don't worry about it if you can't, but the point is you're stretching this area right here. Your hamstring, your groin area is opening up. So we're gonna hold this position for about 30 seconds. So from this position, you're gonna go into a pigeon pose. So you can leave that left arm planked and just bring that leg under. Right leg under. Lower yourself onto your elbows if you can. If you can bring your head down, great. But you're gonna hang into this pigeon pose for 30 seconds. You can kind of rock back and forth. Take deep breaths, try to stretch lower each time, but hold that position for about 30 seconds. After the pigeon, come on up into a straight leg. Hamstring stretch. Bring that toe up. If you can reach that toe, pull it toward you, and you're stretching this, holding this position for about 30 seconds. If you want to do a more dynamic release and stretch for that 30 seconds, you can. And then lastly, keeping that foot forward, you're gonna work into a hip flexor stretch. Bring those hands overhead, push them toward the ceiling and lower, feeling that stretch in the hip flexor. I'll switch sides for you just so you can see. Again, hands toward the ceiling, lower the leg, arch the back, feeling that stretch here. And hold for about 30 seconds for that pose. And then do the opposite side. Again, holding 30 seconds for each of those poses of the world's greatest stretch. All right, for that lizard pose, you're gonna get down on the ground. You're gonna have your right leg is forward, left hand on the ground. You're gonna grab that left foot with your right hand. And then you're gonna kind of ease forward, stretching that hip flexor area and that quad attachment, and just kind of leaning forward into that. Now you can gradually hold and breathe, and every time you exhale, try to stretch a little further for 30 solid seconds. Or you, again, can go dynamic with that and release the tension, go back in. Trying to get a deeper stretch though each time on that hip flexor front area. I'll do it with the opposite leg, you might get a better view. So again, grabbing your right foot with your left hand and just bringing that left foot forward so that you can kind of lean in and stretch that hip flexor area. Really good quad stretch here too. And if you can, bring that chest up high. And again, you can either do that static, trying to stretch a little deeper each breath, or releasing and dynamically going deeper. So that is the lizard pose. That's your cool down for today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining Mitten Fitness, CrossFit Dexter, for these quarantine, stay home, get ripped workouts. All right, congratulations. You have graduated into a new shutdown challenge. The last one was challenging to say the least, especially at the very end with all those reps that have accumulated. Nobody expected to be closed this long, but thanks for challenging yourselves and sticking with it. We've got a new challenge for you starting today, Saturday, April 18th. All right, so the new challenge has accumulating 1 full minute of elbow planking. Also, after that, accumulating 1 full minute of hollow holds. After that, you're gonna do 48 push-ups, more push-ups, but think how ready you'll be for Murph. And then after the 48 push-ups, you're gonna do 10 light, emphasize light goblet squats, okay? So this is going to increase daily by 5 seconds on the holds for the plank and the hollow hold, by 1 push-up, and by 2 light goblet squats each day that we continue to be closed due to this virus that's out there. All right, so let's show you the movements. Elbow plank, you probably know, but I'm gonna show you. Down on those elbows, on the balls of those toes, your core is engaged. You're pressing down, pressing into that ground with your elbows and your feet, your toes. Really pressing down, really squeezing the abs, squeezing pretty much every possible muscle you can during this hold to get the most out of it. All right, that is your elbow plank. Hollow hold. Make that bowl with your body. Leg raise. Arms up and out. Make sure your shoulders are off the ground. Basically only touching the ground from the center of your back to your tailbone and holding. Engage that core. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Push-ups. Push-ups you know. Push-ups you love. And start in that full plank position. Down, chest to the ground. Elbows are in, either 45 degrees or tighter, and up. Push-up. Now, if you don't have the full strict push-up, no problem. Go to your knees, down, up, and if you need to scale that even further, find that coffee table, bench chair, side of your rig, and do your push-ups into that object. All right, then last but not least, goblet squats. This is not necessarily light, but it is a kettlebell in the goblet position. Elbows are in, nice and racked. Your goblet is hugging your chest. Squat stance for these, and you're gonna start with that butt back. So push the butt and hips back, down, parallel or below, and back up. Have a blast with this shutdown challenge. It doesn't matter when during the day you do this. It is meant to be as well as your normal workout for the day. You can do it throughout the day, piece it up, do it throughout the day. You can do it before you go to bed. You can do it as soon as you wake up. It's your workout, it's your challenge. Just have fun with it. Thanks, guys. Hey folks, really appreciate you tuning in. Please do us a favor, press that like button, subscribe, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, like us, follow us. Stay healthy.